they put other people in the house so they could have a party. And then after the party, they made some more things, you know. And after they made this more things, they did this thing called a fucking what's it called? A judge. Yeah, that's what it's called. They put a judge in there, and the judge is fat. You know, he has a black suit. He's fat. He's a fat ass son of a bitch. Hope you know that, so you understand. And he's real fat. Just think of it. Fat judge in the house, you know, and he's judging on the fucking on these ladies. These ladies right now. They're ladies, you know. Women, female, you know, and they got these things. And then they make the ladies black for some reason. I don't understand. I guess they like ghetto booty. But so they put the fucking ladies in the fucking ocean. They put the black ladies in the ocean, okay? And they make them all salty. The white salt, remember that. And then they stay in there and they bathe for like 25,000 years. And then after that, they come out and they're mixed. You know, now they're caramel color. So then that's how you get different nationalities. You bathe in the salty ass fucking ocean seas. And that's how it made volcanoes too. The volcanoes you see came from the fucking ladies. When they did all their shit in the ocean, it made the volcano come underneath the ground. So then the volcano spurts lava all over the place, and that makes land, you know, and it makes land on the fucking thing, and that's how you got to the United States. And that's it. That's how the Earth was made. That's how the Earth was made.
Really?
Yeah.
So, how were Mexicans made?
The Mexicans were made by this thing. This was a fucking. It was made of. It was a vine, you know, like a actual vine you eat, you know. And a vine was made, sprouted into the fucking. It was sprouted from a piece of a flower. Okay, a pink flower. Okay, and it went into the fucking rocks of some unknown place. I think it was called some kind of canyon, you know. And when they did that, a seed was thrown into it by a mysterious man, and he threw it in there, and it sprouted even more, so that it would do more better. And so then, after he sprouted it, it became so big, it was like it turned to be, it turned like yellow and red together. And I don't know what color that makes, but it makes some kind of color that's really cool, you know what I'm saying? And then after it makes that color, it turns itself into like, I don't know, some kind of transformation, and it turns into like a metal piece of wood, like, you know that. And then after it turns metal, it gets more blacker for some reason. And then after it turns more blacker, it throws up all the things inside into the ground. And after the ground is all mushy and brown and shit, then these people came and swam in it because they were all white. They were pale white. And they swam in the brown stuff of the tree that spurted black stuff and brown stuff. So then when the white people went in, they bathed in it for 2 minutes, and then they came out brown and more yellower and stuff. And then they learned how to talk, and they talked this weird kind of shit I never heard of before. And then kind of decided to name it fucking Spanish or something. And then after they did that, they fucking went over here, and they went over to the other canyon, and they bashed their heads into the rocks over and over and over. For some reason, they loved it. They had a fetish for rock banging, you know what I mean? And then like after they hit the rocks with their heads, they said "ow," and then they said, "Well, then I want to do it more." So they did it more, and they said "ow" more, and then it became like more sun. the more sunness came up, and it hit them in the face, like as like a rock hitting them in the face, like that rock. And when the sun hit them in the face, they said "ow" again, but more this time. And so after they got hit in the face, they got more burnt all over themselves, and they got all crispy and juicy, you know that. And then it started to sizzle up like bacon. And so like after the sun hit them, the rays went inside them, like went through like a transparent thing, you know that. And after it did that, they had their eyes pulled out for some reason like that. And then after the sun went out of itself, out of the people, the eyes went back in. And so then, after the eyes went back in, they said, "Ooh, I feel more better now. So now I'm going to go hit my head on the rocks again." And that was it. That's how Mexicans were made.
Very interesting. Parker, you have anything to add here? Anything, Parker? 'Cause I'm pretty sure he's open to any suggestions, you know? Yeah, like, we gotta learn as much as we can. I don't know where Parker went. But
Where'd
like,
Parker go?
I don't know. But like, we should talk about how women were born. You know what I mean.
Women were born.
You know, women. You know.
Women were born.
Where'd they come from?
I don't know if I can think of all this right now.
But you have such knowledge.
Well, you're correct on that one, though. I think right there, I think women, they were called women, and so they wanted to be more. So they doubled its stuff, and they became more, like two layers of stuff. And after they came, they came from the fucking the grass. Yes, the grass. They grew directly from the grass because they liked it, and that made them have a bigger ass than the males. That's why. That's the whole secret to it. That's why they have bigger butts. You know, and so then after they get the bigger butts, and then they get their boobs from the fucking the coconuts from the trees. And then over time the coconuts turn softer and more plump, you know, and then they get squishier. So therefore they get boobs from that. And you know, and then it produces milk, like coconut milk. So everyone's drinking coconut milk from boobs. And they like it. And they live off of that for 70 years. And after they do that, they go and they go into the water, the oceans that the black women made, and they went and they drink it all over themselves. You know what I'm saying? All over. They pour all over themselves in the fucking and then they put it all on their head. And when they put it on their head, it becomes hair. It's this strand of particle of DNA of some shit, I don't know science, and it's soft, and some of it's hairy, and some of it's greasy, and some of it's just plain nasty. But it don't matter. It depends on the girl type, you know. And so all nationalities of women were made from this, and what they did was they hit each other in the face because they didn't know how to talk. So after they hit each other in the face, they finally said something like, "Hello, how are you?" And then after they said that over and over, they thought that responding would have to hit them in the face again. So that after they did that over and over, they did that over and over, and then they became like really strong, like really, really strong. And they picked up sticks and they started beating each other with sticks in the face.
What?
And after they did that, they liked it. They started to like it more. They liked beating other women in the face. And the women getting beat loved it too. So after they got beat over and over, the women then took a tree trunk, and they took it and they hit each other in the face because they were that strong. And they loved it. They loved it even more than anything else in the world. And then after the women were made like that, they fucking finally became strong, and they got big muscles and shit. And they became even more hotter, you know, then because all their bruises went away. Because life. So fucking after all that shit happened, then when they found these other ones called men with like short hair and big muscles, and they wanted to know how they got big muscles and shit, and then when they saw his muscles, they wanted to lick the muscles. So they went over to his muscles and licked them all over himself, you know what I mean? And the guys seemed to like it. I don't know for sure. It was a way back ago. And after they licked them over and over and over, they didn't know that the men had dirt all over the chest. So therefore they were licking dirt off of him instead of his actual bare skin. So therefore they get dirt on the tongues, and that's what, yeah, they get dirt in their mouth, and that's what makes tongues. Tongues are made of dirt, according to females, their logic and shit. So every time you eat with a dirt tongue, you're tasting dirt, so it sucks. But I don't fucking know. And then, let's see, the nose. The nose was made from a piece of, let's see, a piece of a bean that they found on the sand of the beach. They found a bean, okay? And the bean was brown. And what they did was they dipped it into the ocean to make it more whiter, because, you know, logic. And so then, in like such as thus, they made it so where it got more bigger by getting expanded into the ocean, because, you know, salt and shit. And so then they put the bean on top of their front of their face, and then it grew. And it grew on their face like that, and like those things. And so then, after it grew on their face, they started hitting it on their face because it got attached to them like that. And so after they hit their face like that, they got two giant holes in the bean. That's what makes nostrils in the nose. That's what they did because they love hitting stuff. And so then they got these strong ass arms and strong ass legs and and then they didn't even have any ears back then. You see, Evolve a Nation created ears over time, you know, and so then the fucking 500 years later they got ears. They got ears from the fucking, they say this powerful being. I don't know what the fuck it was. It was weird. It was like a giant monkey. And they said, may there be light or something like that. And so after there came light, gave these things growing on the sides of their head, and they seemed to like it. It was little bitty things, like little bitty specks of dirt it looked like. I don't know if it was dirt or not. But then after they beat them over and over, they made holes in those too. And they've had ears, and then they could hear stuff, like, you know, hear sounds and sound waves and shit. And then they had to make a mouth. So what they did was they took all of the ingredients of their face, that which they made themselves, and mixed it all together in the ocean of white salt, and boiled it up into a frickin' bowl or something like that. And then what they did was they chewed on it for 10 seconds, 20 at max. And then, after they chewed on it, they loved it, so they chewed on it some more. But they didn't mean to chew on it more because it tasted so good. Then, after they took it out finally, it had this thing, and it was like these big ass pair of like gooiness, and they called them lips. So therefore, that's how women got lips. And then, see, they got their tongue, they got their lips, their teeth. Women got their teeth by you know those rocks in the sand. What they did was they grounded them up into little bit-sized pieces, and they put them in the ocean of white salt. And after they did that, it turned more whiter. The little bitty shell things, it turned more whiter. And after they did that, they put them on top of their tongue, thinking that it would stick, but they were stupid, so that didn't work. So after they tried it over and over, they put it all the way under their mouth, and it seemed to work. And so that's how it got stuck to the point where they could now put it in the mouth and it stayed there, so they got stuck. And that's how they could eat rocks and like other shit that comes in the ocean. And that's how women were made.
Interesting. I think Parker has to go to bed.
Why?
Because he has to work tomorrow.
Is he not here?
Oh, he's here. He just like, he didn't want to interrupt your story, so he sent me a message saying he's got to go to bed. You know,
so he's not here.
Oh, he's here. He's here.
So he heard the story?
Yeah, he heard the story.
Oh. You heard all the stories with the men and the women and the... Yeah.
Yes, I did.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you see, it seems so fucking logical, you know what I'm saying? Like, you never would have thought of that.
Yeah, it's so logical.
And like, you just never would have thought it happened. And I see into the past.
Yeah.
And I see what all happens.
I would have never.
Nah, this got some kind of special gift going on.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Hey, I need to go to bed.